now listening to a Thinking Boy podcast.
Hello, welcome to this week's episode of the Thinking Boy podcast. I'm your host, Cesar Perez, with...
We are Omnilucid, and I am Brandon Molina. I play guitar. I'm the band leader. And we are a funk, rock, and R&B group. We are so excited to be on this podcast. Thank you for having us. And I'm going to pass it off to Will.
I'm Will McFarlane. I play drums for the band, and I'm really excited to be here. Thank you for having us.
I am Gloria Pacheco. I play the bass.
I'm Stephanie. Hello, podcast. And I play alto saxophone and vocals. Not keys yet.
I really appreciate you guys coming on. You know what I'm saying? I know you guys come from different parts of the town and stuff like that, so you guys making out time on a Sunday, you know what I'm saying? It means a lot. I appreciate y'all.
Thanks for having us.
I really just want to get to, like, the brass tacks. What was the origin story? Go ahead, lay it on me, because I have no idea. I've worked with you guys a couple of times. I really don't know much about any of you at all, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know if you guys want to get into, like, how you guys met or how long have you guys, like, known each other and how everything happened.
So I've known Will and Brandon for at least a year. We had started working together on music, just collaborating about a year ago. And then we kind of just stuck together as a group. We all meshed pretty well. And then Gloria, we were graced with because of a reference from like a music colleague. And then Ari, our lead singer, you want to tell them how you met Ari?
So I was working at School of Rock, and I heard Ari's voice, and I was like, wow. And then one day I came in, and she was playing guitar, so I walked in there, and I was like, hey, you want to join a band? And immediately it was like, oh, yeah, let's do it. And then, we, brought her over, and we sang some songs, and she couldn't be here today for us, but yeah.
Should have.
Yeah, she's an amazing vocalist. Yeah. For sure, yeah, she's great. But yeah, that's really it. I think. Yeah.
Well, you guys were telling me that I know you're a part of a couple bands. I'm not sure. I assume Will was as well. I don't know how many other bands you guys had or are still involved with.
Yeah. For a year, I've been playing with Dito Delirium.
Okay.
As well. And then I think I did some music for other colleagues and friends just here and there, but recently actually decided to become more heavily involved with Omnilucid. Brandon's the leader, but I kind of back him up. I back up everybody. Everybody backs each other up, but making merch, been focusing on that. I just recently did like a magazine article for Bold Journey magazine where I'm kind of promoting the band, trying to book gigs, things like that. So I'm kind of more focused on Omnilucid this year, and I'm open for other things as well, opening up myself for other projects that I'm passionate about. But yeah, Gloria, are you in other bands?
This is actually my first band that I'm in.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up going up in church, and I used to play for churches, but that's pretty much it. So this is like my first actual experience when it comes to playing in a band.
Okay. Would you ever play like music that was not church related, like on your spare time?
Yeah, on my spare time. But other than that, it was just at the time it was just church music. Like
what kind of music was it, if you don't mind me asking? Like, was it like super like the kind of like
gospel?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was raised Catholic, and so that's just kind of scary. Some of the fucking
no, not like that. It's not to that extent. I don't know. It would be like contemporary Christian music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What about you, Will?
I'm sorry, I forgot the question.
If you're involved in like any other band, stuff like that.
Yeah, so previously I've been involved in, at least 3 or 4 other gigging bands. Right now I'm in an alternative metal project called Dead Idol. We've been doing shows around Houston since November, so we're kind of a baby band, but I think that as musicians we have a lot of potential, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. But yeah, I don't have I don't have very many years in terms of in terms of like in terms of live band experience. You know, I've been in like serious live bands since, 22 or 23. Before that, it was just kind of, music lessons, school recitals, right? But yeah, that's just kind of where I am right now.
So I'm actually kind of new to this too. I started last year. No, 2 years ago when I came back from a deployment, and I was just like, what, just do this, because I never thought I would be, performing or anything like that. I never wanted to until overseas. I had an opportunity because overseas I had bought a guitar and an amp, and they were doing something on the camp and on the FOSS, and I was like, what, let's do something. There's other musicians there. Let's jam. They're gonna sing, and so I was able to jam in front of my peers and stuff overseas. And I thought, what, that wasn't as nerve wracking as I thought it was gonna be. I can actually, let's go home and take this and do it. And so kind of like flipped the switch for me doing that. So I've been playing with various musicians around Houston, on and off. This is actually technically my first band, Omnilucid. I was in Dito Delirium as well for a little bit. That fell through, unfortunately. But other than that, yeah, no, I've only been doing this for a year. Brand new to this. I'm still learning the ropes. Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, as a band, we've only been doing this for a couple months, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I recorded y'all's first
Yeah.
but it was like, I remember it mostly being like covers.
Yeah, it's been mostly covers, and we have one original, but yeah, it's going great, so we have a lot of potential.
Mike, I was gonna ask you guys, and maybe go around the room, but like, what? Because I have a lot of friends that are musicians, and they're really big into like open mics and stuff like that. They'll pull up and like just jam out at like a random spot. Is that something you guys do at all during your free time at all? Like go to like an open mic, or you said jamming out at like a little jam session?
No, but I've been pushing more to do more like busking with a friend and on my own, just to do it, just to get out there more, to kind of get rid of that stage fright, and just to get more exposure, trying to play more. Yeah.
Would you try to go to other people's shows too?
Yeah, we try to go to other people's shows and network. If the vibe is right, try and network and.
Yeah, try to meet people that way. We've made a lot of friends that way. Just going to other people's shows, and because going to open mics is something we want to do in the future. So we're open to it. Yeah, we're definitely open to it. That's how you meet people. That's how you network. That's how you get opportunities.
Recorded you guys, like I said, your first live performance. But I recorded you guys last weekend in your first recording setting. Was that your all's first recording, like in general, just as like musicians, or just as a band?
As musicians.
Yeah.
Like I think all of us. Yeah, that was our first time as just musicians. All of us we didn't know what to expect, how it all works, anything like that. We just went and did it.
How was that for y'all? How did that go? How do you guys feel? Because in the moment where it's kind of like
Yeah.
you're just kind of knocking off the takes.
Yeah, for me it was super fun.
Yeah.
I loved it. All the takes, all the even when we found out one of the signals weren't recorded, I was like, all right, let's get back in there and let's do it. I liked it. So
Yeah, so actually this this recording that we did over at Wayne Street was actually, for me, well, for us as a band, it was the first time doing it. But for me, I actually had recorded in that setting before with a band that I had previously been in, called Tracing Paces. That was 3 years ago, actually. So yeah, I mean, I knew a little bit about what to expect, but it had also been 3 years, so it was a little bit nerve-wracking for sure.
This is actually my second time. The first time that I actually recorded, I was like 15, and it was like with a Christian band. I grew up religious, that's why. Yeah, I mean, the second time they'll feel more real. You know, as a 15-year-old, you don't really get to think about that too much until like now. So I really enjoyed it.
I was really nervous when I went in there, like super nervous because I didn't know what to expect at all. But the more and more we kept playing, I got more comfortable. It was really fun, and especially because they had all the lights up and everything like that. So when you recorded it, it just the video is just gorgeous. So I'll be excited when that's done.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed recording that with y'all. It was super, you know what's funny? Like I had been like a little sick like during the week, so I was like I'm feeling shitty. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm barely kind of getting over it. And then like I was like, dude, I have to knock this out. And then like as soon as I got there, I was like, all right, the vibes were like immediately changed because like you guys had like a bunch all smiles. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's get this done. And yeah, it was a lot of fun, dude. Honestly, that whole setup's kind of crazy. Like the fact that it's like at a house and then like the living room is this.
No. We pulled up. We didn't know what to expect. I was like, where? What's going on here? It's not a building. It's it's in a neighborhood.
It's cool, man. I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised myself.
Was gonna ask you guys again. So how old are y'all? I have no idea, like age wise. It was just my birthday on Thursday. I really don't know how old any of you guys are.
Yeah. I'm 24. I just turned 24 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Oh
Yeah.
shit. Okay.
Yeah, at Christmas. Yeah.
Are you a Capricorn?
Yeah.
Christmas baby.
So I turned 21 in August. So I'm, newly legal, right? But I guess I still, but even so, I'm still, yeah. The best the government can do is offer me a drink. But.
Oh, jeez.
But
He's not
even
wrong.
so, and this is not the first time. This is not the first band I've been in where this is the case. But I'm kind of the baby of the band,
And even though
Yeah.
he's the baby, he's a really great drummer. I'm 27. I actually am gonna turn 28 next month. Yep.
I'm 36.
You're 36?
Yeah.
I guess that.
Thank you. That's.
I just turned 29.
Oh, okay. Yeah. 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 So, hanging out with these.
Bozos.
I was gonna say. Immediately cut off. Are we uncle?
Yeah, this is getting weirder, honestly. I feel like an aunt now. I feel like your little cousin,
Yeah.
You don't look it. You look pretty. You look like 26, 25.
Really?
Yeah, I think you look older.
It's funny. I have a history of being, or actually, I have I've been told. I get told sometimes that I look older, and then other times that I look younger. Like I remember being 18 or 18, and someone said, I would have said you looked 16, and then I've gotten other things where I was a sophomore in high school, and people were like, I thought you were a senior. I think it's the height, honestly. But I don't know.
Would you ever grow the beard out? Straight up just.
I used to have the beard. Do you guys remember? I had the goatee.
I think if you grow the beard out.
Yeah, no, I do. I do grow it out sometimes. Definitely does give me a little bit more of an aged look. I guess I kind of go back and forth between it. Right now I have the baby face, so that's probably something.
I got a haircut myself.
I'm growing mine out. I'm the only one. So in my other project, Dead Idol, I'm the only one in that band who doesn't have long hair, and so I can't whip it around on stage. And so I feel like kind of the odd man out.
But I'm honestly, the recording that you guys did sounded really, really good. It sounded really, really good. Like I didn't expect, because like I said, whenever I heard you guys the first time, it was nothing but covers. And it's funny because like aside from 2 songs, I didn't really realize that they were covers. I thought they were like originals and shit like that. Even when I like did the timestamps, I didn't realize what it was. But But as soon as I guys started playing, I was like, all right, cool. Like this kind of fusion was like really, really nice. And y'all singer could just sing like crazy, dude. When you sent me the audio over, I was like, holy shit, this is really, really good. How do y'all meet her? I guess that'll be like the next question.
So I can talk about that. I was working at School of Rock like part time, but I would see her around and stuff, and I would hear her sing sometimes. And I just walked in. I was gonna be with a student, and a student didn't show up. So I was like walking around, and I heard someone playing guitar, and it was Ari. And so I walked in there, and I was like, "What's up, man?" Like, and then basically asked, you can sing. Could you?
Are you looking for a band? Is that what you said?
Yeah, basically, I was like, "You want to join a band?" And it was like,
By chance.
yeah. I was like, she was like, that was it. And then we talked about it, and
Didn't like we jam with her that same night?
jammed with her the same night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because y'all were both so excited about the idea.
Yeah,
We jammed. All three of us jammed that night.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah.
yeah. It was good
It was like
times.
super late at night.
Yeah,
I feel like y'all. That's one thing I will say about like just knowing you guys for like the few times that I have. They just seem super down,
Mm.
super open to like play. How many amount of times
Yeah.
and stuff like this. Make sure you guys get it right, stuff like that.
Yep. No matter what day, no matter how late.
Yeah, y'all don't really get discouraged, but I think it's like really that's very powerful, honestly. Like the fact that you're just like, all right, we're gonna keep going.
yeah. That's how I am too. Like if I really want to do something, I'm like any inconvenience, I'm like go around it, like figure it out. Like we're gonna do this whether we're gonna whether retired or not. Like we're gonna do it. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. We can talk about that. Yeah. So right now I'm working part time at Academy doing selling guns. I'm dipping my toes into other things right now, just experimenting. But right now I'm just starting my new semester this week, doing music business. So just all kinds of stuff going on right now.
I forgot where.
HEC. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you're saying you're looking for a job now or something like that?
Well, actually, I did just get a I did just score myself. Sorry. Well, actually, I did just score myself a new part-time job in helping set up banquets at a wedding venue, and so I just had I just kind of got my feet wet with that job. Enjoying it so far. Currently looking at other fields like personal training. I'm certified there. So I'm looking around at places I can do that. And then I've had a lot, I've never really had any like gym jobs before, but I've had a lot of restaurant jobs, hospitality jobs, but I'm pretty new to banquets. Like I said, I just had my first event the other night. Apparently I'm told that Beyonce's dad was there, so it was pretty high profile.
Connections.
Yeah. Well, actually, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I was working in one ballroom and that event was happening in another, so I wasn't quite there for it. But
Same proximity. Though.
yeah, but I was gonna say it would have been the funniest thing ever. Just like, please promote our band, but I was telling my coworkers it would have been even funnier if like she was actually there and we would all have just been like, we just work here.
Yeah, I have a full-time job. I'm actually a 4th grade science teacher. Yeah, I work with little kids. I'm teaching them science. Yeah, so it's so funny that you bring that up because we were literally just learning that a couple of days ago. We were learning about rocks and when it comes to like finding fossils, and they were really into it. As of right now, they're learning about plants and like the different parts of the plant and the function, and they really are liking it. So
That's what I
it.
remember. The
Yeah.
mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
Yeah.
That's all I remember from.
they haven't gone to that
Get a
point
job
yet,
with that.
but they will. Whatever I'm teaching them right now is going to help them a lot, probably in 6th and 7th grade. So
Word.
Whenever I was in Colorado, we were like seeing a bunch of different like kind of like rocks and stuff like that, and we are trying to figure out. We were trying to remember because like the people that I went with are like around my age, trying to remember the different kind of categories of the rocks and stuff like that. And there's one that we couldn't remember. It was like We got sedimentary and we got like another one. We fucked up though. I'm not gonna lie to you. Can you educate me a little bit? Name the three types of.
Yeah, there's metamorphic, there's
Metamorphic.
sedimentary, and there's igneous.
Igneous.
Yeah.
Is igneous the?
The igneous are the cooler rocks. Those are the ones that you find deep inside of Earth, like when it comes to volcanoes. So when you hear the word igneous, just think of volcano.
What about metamorphic? Is that like?
Metamorphic, it's when they have been compressed a lot by different parts of when it comes to the Earth's mantle.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been compressed a lot.
Fucking V
Yeah.
sauce over here, dude. We got some like education stuff
Yep,
going
yep.
on, dude. Hell yeah.
And the sedimentary is where you find fossils. Though that's the only rock you find fossils in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. It's all revert. This is bad, bro. It's been 10 years since it's about, well, this year's going to be the 10th year for my like graduation for like high school and stuff like that. So I graduated 2016, so 10 years now. So any education, any educated question, just kind of like unlocking like this knowledge that I have that's somewhere there, but
Yeah.
You thought this was just about music.
hey, look, believe me, that
Talk about rocks.
On-
Rock and roll, baby.
not music. This is not a music fucking podcast. This is like way more into like hell yeah, dude. Well, you were saying earlier how you're a dietitian now or a diet.
Yes, I am a cancer dietitian. So I work specifically with radiation patients,
Okay.
patients undergoing chemotherapy, making sure they eat, making sure they stay healthy,
What would their diet like consist of? Is that
high protein,
yeah?
high protein, high calorie. Yeah, a lot of the time it's them trying to maintain their weight because with chemotherapy you have a lot of side effects, radiation, especially if you're getting it like on your head and neck area. It's really hard to swallow food.
Oof.
So we figure out maybe you have mashed potatoes or maybe you have, broth if you're getting that irritation there, you can't get enough calories in. Protein shakes, do a lot with Ensure, Boost, those types
Oh
of
my
things.
God.
Yeah. To keep the muscles. Yes, exactly.
How long have you been doing that for?
So I'm going into my 4th year.
Okay.
Going into my 4th year doing that. Yeah, I tell them all the time. Hey.
It gets loud over here, dude.
We're in Houston right now, guys.
That's the one thing that
We know how to
like
party.
I love. Like I said, I love the area, but like, dude, anytime I'm recording something, it never fails. That like someone either like is jamming really loud, or they'll just like because it's like a straight street right here, so they're just like and just burn off, and like all kinds of the exactly yes. But
That's awesome.
I love it. What am I do? You know what I'm saying? I like the area, but that's awesome, man. That's a cool thing.
Yeah.
4 years in.
Yeah. I was telling them I'm kind of a late bloomer in a lot of ways. So like I went back to school when I was like 28,
Okay.
28, 29, got my master's degree. So I've been working in this field for like only 4 years, and still don't know if this is what I'll be doing for the rest of my life.
What was your connection to music? How did that come about?
Well, I've been playing piano since I was like 5 or 6 years old.
Okay.
And then by the time I was like age 12, I was like composing for publication. So I was already writing piano compositions for publication. And then I switched to saxophone in middle school because my parents were like, you can't do both. Like, you can't take piano lessons, do tennis, and play saxophone. Like, you got to pick both because we weren't, I didn't come from a wealthy family. So I picked saxophone, but then kind of still learned. Because once you learn piano, I was going to tell you this because you're interested in playing piano.
Yes.
Once you learn piano, that unlocks your ability to be able to learn any instrument.
You think so?
Yes.
Shit, okay.
Starting with piano is a really good place to start. Then you can learn guitar, you can learn wind instruments, you can learn pretty much anything if you start with piano. So that's kind of where I started. And then I played up until college. And then I kind of switched gears to nutrition, worked in the field, went back to school. And then I was working at the hospital and I was just like, I go to work and then I come home, I go to sleep, I get up, I go to work.
That kind of pattern.
Yeah, and I was kind of just feeling like, man, I got to really like set my soul back on fire. Even though nutrition's really important for me, and I do it more because I love people. It's kind of like I feel like my purpose in life is to
Giving
help
back.
sick people. Yeah, and so I was like, man, I miss that feeling of performing and being on stage, and our first show actually. I looked at the audience. I looked at the audience's face in the first. You remember? the girls in the front row. And when I played my saxophone, I saw her face. She was like, you know, she gave me that face, like, dang, you know. And I was like, oh, okay, good.
Saxophone is a pretty cool instrument. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like when done well, I
Yeah,
love Careless
thank you.
Whisper.
Careless Whisper.
Careless Whisper, dude.
Oh, yeah, Lisa
George
Simpson.
Michael. Oh yeah, Lisa Simpson. Hey, damn, Lisa Simpson's pretty good.
What?
Weren't you? You were telling me that when you were a kid, that was part of the reason that you started playing saxophone.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, is why I play saxophone. Thank you.
Yeah.
Who's Bart? That
Didn't wasn't there like an episode where Homer decided he wanted to start playing the bass? I'm sure that there was something like that, and I just haven't even seen it. Yeah, I know. It's been going for like, has it been going for like 30, 40 years? Shit.
My sister actually got me into Demon Hunter. Yeah. I haven't seen the latest episode, but I mean the latest season, but I think the last season that I saw was probably season 3. Like the last demon that he fought, that was a pretty badass demon. But which other one? Oh, I seen One Punch Man. Season 1 was pretty good. I don't know about season 2. I forgot about it, but so that was a good show.
Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah, it started off pretty strong. Yeah.
No, I know. I watched One Piece on Netflix, the live action one. That was good, but yeah, it was entertaining.
I don't know if this counts as anime. It's like American anime. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Dude.
That was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It's
Love
really
Avatar. I was like,
good.
dude. Yeah, there's a movie
Yeah.
that came out recently, or not movie, but a show on Netflix, the
Yeah.
live action show.
The live action show was pretty good.
Really good, actually.
Yeah,
Netflix-
compared
on
to the
Netflix.
movie?
Compared to the movie,
The
yeah,
movie was-
the movie was trash compared to the live
Booty.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Oh yeah. No, actually, I was gonna say, before me and my brothers, me and my two brothers had, you know, remotely any perception of what made movies bad, we were pretty oblivious because we were, you know, between 6 and 8 years old at the time. We owned we owned The Last Airbender on DVD, and it was like, yeah, it was like one of those things that would, you know, would like play in the back of the car, you know, on the little flip screen. Yeah, it's funny, you know, I never really did get into any animes, even like you know, American animes like you guys were talking about. I mean, I've got you know, plenty of friends who did or do watch anime. You know, I used to be into like video games, not really so much anymore, and so naturally some people from that area flow into, yeah, so definitely like a little Venn diagram right there. But no, I'm not super knowledgeable about the thing. Yeah, outside of music, I'm actually not really a big TV person. You know, my parents are big TV people, and my brother's not as much. Actually, that does remind me. One of my brothers, he at least started watching that anime Invincible, I think it was. Oh yeah. So that's one other person that I know who does dabble with it. But as far as stuff that I consume outside of music, I'm mostly big on films, especially a lot of the older stuff. And then, you know, even some films about music, you know, stuff like off the top of my head, you know, you got like Whiplash, always a good movie. And then you know,
That's kind of a crazy movie.
J.K. Simmons, he really, yeah, he it's like what's the guy in the bottle, Mr. Clean. Yeah, I know. But that, you know, I also love I love watching, you know, documentaries about music, you know, stuff about how how like projects came together. I will say that I'm not a big fan of biopics. I don't know, just something about them just never really sat right with me. It could just be like another person portraying, you know, a person of stature. Just I don't really know what it is. Yeah, it's mostly music. I have definitely stumbled across some good biopics, but I haven't had a great experience with music ones. Most of the stuff that I watch, like I said, is a lot of mostly like older comedies. But also you know, I do like some really good action movies. Well, I guess you know, a lot of favorites, a lot of comedies from the 80s and 90s, but also, you know, there was a really good run, especially with people like Will Ferrell in the 2000s. Yes, we were talking all about that. Definitely a lot of my favorites. But you know, there's also a lot of really great, like I said, there's also a lot of really great action movies that I watched with my dad and my brother. Like you know, we were watching. I think it was about a year ago. My dad, my brother, and I were watching Pulp Fiction, and then we also, you know, we pulled off some. As far as like dramas goes, you know, we really like the Coen Brothers movies. So like yes, No Country for Old Men is fantastic. Fargo is fantastic. I never did start watching the show. I mean, I really only watched the movie, funny enough, when I was up north in Wisconsin, where I vacation every summer. Not quite North Dakota, but it's okay. Just a couple states off. Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah, no. Uh, and then my dad's favorite was Lebowski. Yes. And you guys saw that was my Halloween costume last year.
Yes.
You guys see that?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It is fantastic, yeah. Yeah, it's just really funny. We I could probably sit here and talk about that all day, honestly, but yeah, no, me too. It's a lot of the stuff that I consume, especially, you know, not being much of a TV person. I do consume a lot of movies for sure. Especially like with my dad. In fact, usually he's the one who my dad is usually the one who instigates movies. For some reason, I'm never the one to just sit down on my own and just watch a movie. I don't know. I used to not be that way, but strange. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
Besides school and work and doing this band stuff, that's literally it. Like I play guitar. If I'm not if I'm not like working, going to school, studying, or you know doing band stuff, I'm playing guitar. Literally, that's what I'm doing.
He's not joking.
Dude, so I sent y'all like a bunch of music after we like after I recorded your thingy,
Yeah,
the Tiny Desk stuff.
Yeah.
There's this guy named McGee. Do you know who that is at all?
I think that's familiar.
Like MK.JE.
Yeah.
Oh man, his shit is crazy. I wanted to ask you because I know you're a guitarist, but he has this weird like it's almost like feedback, bro, or some shit. It's like not really like distortion, but it sounds fucking crazy. I could play some shit out later, but I would want to get your like thoughts on that because it just sounds like any like musicians that I like show him to or show them like his stuff, they're all just kind of like, what the fuck is he doing? Like it doesn't sound bad, but it just sounds like really like crazy. And we had looked it up last time what his like setup was.
Yeah, I would need to look up. I would need to listen to it because I don't remember exactly what you're talking about. But I definitely, when it comes to musicians, I'm definitely heavily into Jimi Hendrix, of course.
Jimi
as a
Hendrix,
guitar player,
yes.
duh. Like, but Jeff Beck. I love Stevie Ray Vaughan. I love Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, the Beatles, all the 70s, 60s era rock. I love all that stuff. And then heavily influenced by like Krungbin, like and
Oh, Krungbin's beautiful. Yeah, their
yeah,
music's
love-
really, really nice.
love Krungbin. I love Alabama Shakes. Man, there's so many contemporary artists too that I listen to that like I just kind of listen to on and off. They like switch back and forth between.
Do
between
they
that.
do they do Sound and Color, Alabama Shakes?
Yeah, yeah, that's their
Sound
album.
and- That's a good.
Yeah,
That's,
that's
a
a good
song,
album.
dude.
Yeah. But yeah, man. I still listen to so much music. If you look at my playlist, man, it goes all the way back to like the Skrillex.
Okay, okay.
Skrillex and like Michael Jackson. They actually have like a bunch of Michael Jackson songs.
Did you do your? I don't know what you listen to music on, but did you have like a Spotify Wrapped or Apple Replay?
I had a SoundCloud when I was a teenager.
Okay.
And that was where all my music was, and that account is gone. I don't know what happened to it.
Ah,
But if I went back and logged in, you'd see a whole bunch of like EDM, Skrillex X, Tentacion.
Tentacion?
yeah.
Yeah.
That I was obsessed with him for a long
His shit went
time.
hard, bro. I ain't gonna
It
lie.
still
2016,
does.
2017, it was
still
like,
does. I loved him to death, and he died, and that really upset me.
oh my god.
Yeah. So, like all my favorite artists died too, which is like what the fuck.
That,
Like,
that is.
I
yeah.
had just started getting into Jeff Beck, and I was like really loving his guitar playing and his music and stuff, and then he died.
Oof.
He's like 80 something years old.
Mhm.
Bro, I just can't have like and like thank God I went to go see Santana because Santana is also a huge influence on me too. I love Santana. Thank God I went to go see him because man, he's in his 80s as well. Like like hopefully he stays with us and I can go see him again. But
Oh, you were saying, Will?
I feel the same way about the fact that I saw Eric Clapton a couple years ago.
Oh.
If I hadn't seen him, I probably wouldn't have been able to do that ever.
yeah,
I never got to see Ozzy, man. Unfortunately, he passed
neither.
away last year. You know what I
Me
mean?
neither.
That's
Neither
one.
did I.
That's one
Yeah.
that's like very unfortunate.
yeah. I saw Jeff Beck like live once. It was I think it was not Alice Cooper. Who was it? Man.
I like Alice Cooper, honestly. His shit's pretty. I like some of his
I,
stuff.
I don't remember who it was I went to go see. I was with my friend. He invited me to a concert with him, and I really wasn't that into the music, to be honest. But I was paying attention, and Jeff Beck was just hopped on stage with him. I was like, "What? That's Jeff Beck!" And I was like my friend. I was like, "Dude, that's Jeff Beck." He's like, "Who's Jeff Beck?" I was like, "Bro, come on!" And then he was playing acoustic guitar, but that's the only time I got to see Jeff Beck live, and yeah.
You had mentioned Hendrix earlier. Do you have like a favorite Hendrix song that you go to? Like,
Hear
all
My
the time?
Train a Coming.
Am I trying to come?
Hear My Train a
Am I
Coming.
trying to
The people, Hell and Angels version. That
I like
song,
Machine Gun.
Machine Gun, live at Fillmore.
Oh yes,
all that
bro.
stuff
That shit is
is,
fucking crazy.
Is the best music I've ever heard in my life. Best guitar playing I've ever heard in my life, like hands down. Of course, there's other greats like Eddie Van Halen, of course.
Yes, yes,
right?
yes.
But none of them really appeal to me as much as the feeling of Hendrix's guitar work.
Do you like Slash?
If I'm being honest, I respect his work and with Guns N' Roses and stuff, but man, I doesn't really.
Not
I don't-
really
I-
into
the
it?
music, I guess, doesn't. The music itself, I guess, doesn't really.
Like they kind of
appeal
like
to me.
would it be
Yeah.
considered hair metal? I really don't know. Like, kind of know or
I don't know.
I'm trying to
To be
figure.
fair, I haven't really heard a lot of their discography. I've heard, of course, their popular songs and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So I can't really make an accurate, opinion on that. But
There's some bands I just never got into that like are huge. Like them is someone that I've only heard, like you said, their biggest hits kind of.
yeah,
And Kiss is another one.
Kiss.
I've
yes,
never
I
really
used
got
to-
into Kiss at all. Like
I,
I think I like whenever I saw them and they were like dressed up, I expected like some Slayer shit.
Yeah.
I expected like heavier like music, and then whenever they're singing, I'm like, oh, this is
Yeah.
kind of like like super 80s kind of thing, 70s, 80s
Yeah.
kind of thing.
I have videos of me when I was a baby, like 3 or 4 years old, just like dancing to Kiss and like singing their songs
Bro.
and stuff. And then I grew up and grew out of it, and then realized, oh man, it's kind of cheesy.
right. It's
Yeah,
there's like a
like,
novelty
no
aspect
offense,
to
no
it.
offense to them, and of course, Ace Frehley, he recently passed,
Mhm.
and no offense to them and stuff, and I respect him as a guitar player and a musician, but the Kiss, isn't really for me, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you,
Yeah.
man. Some
Yeah.
bands I feel like are kind of
Yeah.
like that, where you just never really get into them like that.
Yeah.
What about you guys? I forgot. Like I was like over there for a little bit. What about you guys? Do you have any? Do you guys have any like musical influences, musical people that you have like inspired you like as you were coming up?
Yeah, for me, definitely I like funk music. I like disco music. I was trained classical, so I also have that sound. I think that comes through a lot in my sound as well. But like Earth, Wind, and Fire, I definitely love the Bee Gees. I like Rick James, James Brown.
You know who Charles Bradley is? Oh, I'm missing some shit. I feel bad because I've been spamming fucking the chat, which is like,
No, don't feel bad. Send it. Yeah, we love it. But then also too, like newer stuff. Like I like Blink 182. We both like Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chip Peppers, yeah. Always.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Um, I would say that I've probably been influenced a lot by Amy Winehouse. I really love her music. Yeah. Yep. I really love funk also and disco. Like there was a time where I was just listening to Donna Summer. Yeah. Now though I'm really into pop, into a lot of like urban Latin music.
Word.
So, yeah. Yeah, dude, Raul. Yeah. Contrabanda is my song.
What do you
That's a
suggest?
really good song.
What do you think telepatia is? You know,
Yes,
telepatia?
Caliuchis.
Yeah, yeah.
I love
what
Caliuchis.
do you think about that song?
That'll be R&B.
It's yeah, that's what well, it's R&B, but like it's R&B mixed with, like-
Alternative.
yeah, I guess it is, huh?
Yeah, because
love that song.
I
Yeah.
love Caliuchis too. I started listening to her when I was a freshman in college, and she just popped up after that. So it's pretty nice. I really like Caliuchis. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she just started popping off. Her and Clairo too.
Claire's really good too. She's an early like 2017 like internet
Mm-hmm.
thing that I was like listening to. I was like, damn, she sounds like 1 million views. What's going on?
Yeah, I saw her last year because she had a concert here in White Oak Music Hall, and yeah, she's pretty. She's a good performer. Really chill, very unique when it comes to her her performance overall. It was really nice. I liked it. Did you?
Yeah, so in terms of my musical influences, I'm one of those people. I'm really one of those people who kind of goes through phases, and it's happened really ever since I was like 3 years old. I think this is maybe a little this. How do I put this? This is not something you would expect from me, but I think I heard like back when I was like 3 years old, I heard like Beethoven pieces, and I would just like play them on the piano like a little, like a T-Rex with one finger, and then it kind of evolved. It kind of evolved from that. You know, my dad and my grandparents would put on like the Stones and the Beatles, and I loved all that stuff. I would be just kind of singing "Come Together" whenever, yeah, and then add on to what Brandon what Brandon said earlier about his playlists. So I remember I think my mom got on her iPod. She got the Essential Michael Jackson, and what happened was that so my brothers and I were in the car, and we would just play the shit out of that. It was just all we ever listened to. I remember over and over and over again. That's all we ever listened to. And actually, I would say that he's probably one of the biggest and probably the most consistently reoccurring influence in my kind of music phases. Ever since I started playing drums about 10 years ago, I started learning a bunch of his songs. I've actually recorded covers of some of his songs on the drums. So he's kind of come and gone. Nowadays, that's not really doesn't align with my tastes quite as much, but I still go back and listen to his stuff a lot, and still credit a lot of his stuff for where I am in my music journey. But about 8 or 9 years ago, I started kind of going back to more rock and roll, like I was when I was a little kid. And so I think it actually resulted partly from the music that I was exposed to when I saw School of Rock for the first time with Jack Black. And so actually that's I didn't even think about that until now. That's actually a big part of of my kind of rock and roll roots. So I remember I recorded like a couple of like you know, I covered like a couple of AC/DC songs on the drums, and that was when I also started getting into Red Hot Chili Peppers. So to tie that to tie the, you know, the funk and the rock music together, kind of meeting, yeah, that, and then you know, I continued learning funk songs, like you know, it went from like Michael Jackson to Earth, Wind and Fire to Stevie Wonder, and then I think it was actually it was about probably 7 years ago. So this is like, you know, this is probably when I was like just finishing up middle school. I started actually getting into metal. So um, I think it was originally from like some YouTube videos that I saw of like people playing metal. Um, so I started listening to. I dabbled a little bit with Metallica. But where it was really at for me was in middle school. I got introduced to System of a Down, and I was actually fortunate enough last year to go to Chicago and see them live in concert, and that was a show. But anyways, so in 8th grade, I started listening to System of a Down, and that's when I was like, all right, you know, I want to get, you know, 2 bass drums for my setup. I want a big drum set. That's when, you know, kind of started dreaming about just big setups. And then also that was around the time that I dabbled a little bit with like Avenged Sevenfold, who actually at that same concert, System of a Down, they played, and I got to see them. That was also very fun. And then you know, in 2019, 2020, I was still He Comes Back, I was still recording like Michael Jackson songs on the drums. I actually, my dad and I, we set up like this like this really almost studio in my garage, and I recorded covers of several of his songs during like 2020 and 2021. But during 2020, you know, like kind of when COVID hit, I did kind of go back to my I kind of went back to my, you know, rock and roll roots. Like I had you know, a big Led Zeppelin phase. That was when I actually, it's kind of funny. What the big thing that I remember about that was I actually kind of started letting go of some of those visions that I had about, you know, big drum sets, because when I saw Bonham's drum set, I was like, okay, maybe I can do a little bit more with less. Having said that, things changed a little bit from that, and that was shortly after I discovered Rush, and that's when I was like, okay, back to big drum sets. So actually, it was funny. That's actually one of the most transformative moments in my entire music journey was when I discovered Rush. I think the first one that I heard, actually shortly after Neil passed in 2020, was I looked up. I was gonna do YYZ. I was thinking about, you know, learning a bunch of songs on drums just to expose myself to new music, and I didn't know, obviously, for a song like that, I didn't know what I was in for. Because my brother kind of gave me a hint about that. I ran it by him, and he was like, "Oh, pretty impressive if you can play a song like that." And I was like, "Okay." And then I went out there and I tried to learn it. Kind of, you know, quit after the first 30 seconds. But then I remember this very well. In 21, on my way to like the airport or something like that, I downloaded a Rush playlist, and that was when I like actually started getting into them. And so I listened to the playlist, and it was just like, whoa. And then so Rush really has just been, again, since then has really just been the most prominent influence in my music journey. You know, of course, I've had other on and off music influences. Of course, since then I've come to love The Police. I also dabbled with other progressive bands like you know, Genesis, Yes, but in terms of progressive bands, those ones never like quite stuck. They never like quite did it for me. So that happened. So that's happened, and since then, again, Rush has been just huge for me. And then I started getting into Primus, naturally following Rush, and then so recently my influences, or recently the music that I've been listening to has very much aligned with the two bands that I've been in. So with Omnilucid, he has introduced me to Krungbin. I started listening to a little bit of more modern pop music like Childish Gambino, some hip hop in there, and so in terms of Dead Idol, which is the alternative metal project I'm in, that's been like a lot of System of a Down. I started getting into Tool. Of course, I love them now. And
Okay,
then
I fucking love Tool, dude.
they are amazing.
Tool
I
is
actually,
crazy.
when I was going to school in Colorado, I was buying like all these resale tickets for concerts and scoring some really good deals. I got a lot of really good ones. I got tickets to Clapton. I got tickets to Sting.
Damn.
It was amazing, but I'm really mad about this. I missed Tool.
Where were they playing at Red Rock or?
They were playing at Ball Arena,
Okay.
but I did get to see, I did go to 2 concerts at Red Rocks, Sting and
dude.
Primus.
I was just in Colorado like a couple months ago, and like I almost wanted to go to, because I think for a certain amount of time of the year they don't have any shows going on because of the weather, I think.
Right.
But I think you could just still pull up and kind of like walk around
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
I did that when I was on a trip with my family there. We actually got to go. We didn't quite get to see it, but there was like this part of the backstage where like all the artists sign the wall
Oh
or something
shit!
like that.
Okay.
We couldn't quite access that, but we saw that it was apparently there,
Mm-hmm.
and so that was a lot of fun. But in terms of other bands that I started getting into, my drum teacher put me on to some stuff like he put me on to like some harder metal like Lamb of God.
Oh my god. Okay.
They've got a lot of really great stuff in terms of I was looking to improve my my bass drum skills, so he introduced me to some Lamb of God, but also partly because admittedly before I formed Dead Idol, I actually kind of thought that I had somewhat high expectations about how heavy the music was we were going to be playing. We still do a lot of alternative metal, but I wouldn't classify us as like a crazy death metal band necessarily. So he introduced me to some Lamb of God. I got really into them. Even more obscure stuff like the Black Dahlia Murder.
I've heard about that. I've never listened to them, but I know the name.
So a couple of theirs, and then there's this other one that my teacher got me into. My teacher got me into very very heavy and also very obscure called Through the Eyes of the Dead.
Okay.
There's probably gonna be like 3 people watching this who have heard of that. But and then also, so my band Dead Idol, they got me into some of the music that they listen to. So like my singer, she loves Paramore. So I started getting into some of that punk stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But my other 2 bandmates and I, we have pretty similar music tastes. We have an appreciation for stuff like Rush, harder metal like System of a Down. But I'd say that ultimately the biggest takeaways from this whole adventure, I've talked about it for a long time, I realize. I'd say that as a whole, rock and roll is definitely my biggest influence. Along with like a lot of funk and pop music. I was talking about how many Michael Jackson songs I learned on drums.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But I'd say that in terms of, I'd say that Omnilucid is probably the band that has introduced me to, or has forced me to. Omnilucid is probably the band that has forced me to. I don't know if I want to say force. Omnilucid has
Maybe led you.
Yes, they have led me probably the most out of my comfort zone to discover new music like hip hop, and some more modern music that I wasn't aware was I was going to appreciate as much as I do. So yeah, that's kind of where I am right now. I mean, I know this is kind of been a bit of a long string of events, but hopefully it was hopefully it was some descriptive, informative information about my music journey.
No, for sure, dude. Hell yeah, man. This is the podcast, so talk as much as you want. Yeah, honestly, it makes my job easier. Where I can just kind of chill out. You know what I'm saying? I hear you with some like, yeah, hell yeah, you know, some ad libs. I can ad lib a little bit and just.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, sorry, I was kind of my cog.
Nah, don't worry about it, man.
When I started Omnilucid, the idea was like to go for like a psychedelic rock. Like it was gonna be like a very blues driven, psychedelic driven sound initially, and then we got some people on, and the sound kind of went astray from that, and so there was some creative differences with some people that we had on originally, and of course, you know, didn't work out. So that, you know, that's fine, it happens.
Right.
So now we got these people on, and they're amazing, and I think that sometimes like you gotta do what you feel is best for you, and what's authentic to you. You know, what feels right. Because if you're like, you know, you're with these people who are playing music, but you're like, I don't know if this is for
You have
me.
like a gut feeling or
Yeah,
something,
you're
or
like-
your
you-
intuition is like.
You're like, you know, I don't know if this is my music. You know, then, you know, especially if everybody's trying to collaborate and like get together and create something new or different. It's like, if one person is off a little bit, if they're like, I don't know, this is for me, then it's like, oh, well then, you know, sometimes you gotta stray away from that a little bit.
Mhm. I feel you on that.
But yeah,
We're going more into the pop direction, right?
yeah,
And
it was going more into the pop direction, which is fine. Pop is cool, but as far as Lucid goes, the idea was to do a psychedelic rock, and now it's become a psychedelic rock, funk, and R&B, which I love those genres regardless. Those are my genres. You know what I mean? This is what I stand for. It's why I play guitar, because of funk and R&B and blues. But and R&B is such a like broad thing. Like we could just call ourselves an R&B band and be over with it. But the thing is like we're such a fusion of different things that I think that it's hard to label it one thing. Because we do have the rock aspect, and we want to get more into rock later on, like more. 'Cause right now we're focusing on like, you know, I guess you could say like Tranquilo, which is more like a chill song, but we're very Krungbin kind of influenced, and you got Daydream, which is like funk, R&B influenced, which is both chill songs. But I think the direction we're going, like those are cool, and we should keep those songs and like really tailor our songs to R&B and stuff, but also keep the rock around as well, because you know, can't go wrong with rock, you know.
You think the rock would be like y'all's? I was gonna say, you think rock is like y'all's thread through y'all's music, where like you could go to like R&B, like you said, different genres, but that kind of that rock element will always kind of like.
Yeah, the rock element will always be what's gonna drive us, you know, what's gonna drive us musically. I think R&B and rock, like fusing them together, like the way we were doing with like, I guess like Tranquilo, it has some rock vibes to it, especially like the heavier version.
Mhm. Yeah, the
Like,
heavier
some rock
version was
vibes.
like sick. Yeah, I like that.
So I think the fusion of R&B and rock is beautiful, because I always, you know, love that fusion
Mhm.
anyways. So heavy on the blues. Yeah,
Blues
so,
are nice.
Yeah, rhythm and blues, as R&B stands for. So
Well, I was gonna say,
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah. Yeah.
Rhymes and beats,
Rhymes and
dude.
beats.
Bro, you know what's fucking. Will had said something funny when y'all were listening to the different takes, and then you guys were saying like just improvising on the relax, take a
Yeah.
seat.
Yeah.
He said
Yeah.
like my feet or
Oh
something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
every
'cause-
time when I was editing the video, dude,
Maybe edit this part. This is gonna sound weird out of context. Go ahead.
I was like, when I was editing the video, I was like, the first time I was like, oh, this is sick. Then I had to keep cutting it, so like I would just like go through the different shit y'all were saying. I was like, relax, my feet, relax. I was like, oh my god, dude. But like you said, fuck it, you could just riff live. Honestly, if she just wants to like change the lyrics like
Yeah.
on stage one time.
Hear it now.
I can't. Yeah, nah,
Yeah,
I
I've been
definitely,
thinking about that. I've been thinking about that for a while.
I definitely can't unhear it.
I've been actually like, I'll be at home by myself and I'm like, yeah, take a beat, lick my feet.
You planted the seed, bro. And it's
Yeah,
just
bro.
like it's just
Yeah.
grown.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You let it all work out.
Well, shit, man. We've been going on for like over an hour. I was gonna say, do you have any like closing thoughts? Any like upcoming shows or events or anything you guys want to promote?
Closing thoughts would be, I guess we have some shows. We have Sound Wars coming up, but that's not really a show. It's more like it's like a band battle, and then we have a possible another show as soon as like my employer can figure it out at Dan Electro's in February on 22nd, but that's not set in stone yet. Yeah, and then we have some other things going on. Like I have a guy mixing Tranquilo as we speak, and we're gonna use that sound, and then we're gonna upload to Tiny Desk. And yeah, we gotta figure some things out as a band soon after this.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think working on originals
yeah, we're
is
gonna
going to
originals.
be our
And-
next focus.
Yeah,
Getting those up,
yeah,
perfecting Tranquilo and
and
because we was talking about,
Yeah.
you could improv at every different show. We do often do that.
Yeah.
There, like, rarely will you hear us play things the same or even sing things the same.
yeah,
So, I mean, Tranquilo could be completely different next month if we wanted
Yeah.
to,
yeah, it could be
and
different vibe
that's
next month.
the cool thing about how we all work. And we write songs very quickly because we're all so good at
Yeah,
coming up with stuff on the spot.
yeah.
So,
In the writing process too, like I've had them come up with a part like surrounding kind of Latin music, Latin rock. So I had her come up with the bass line, and I had him come up with a for a shuffle for that bass line, and I was gonna write a melody over it. And we tried it today, and it sounded pretty good. I thought we tried it right before practice. We tried it today, and it was pretty cool. But yeah, just working on all kinds of things. If we want to like, try to go on a harder route, heavier route with like rock side of things, eventually, blues side of things.
yeah. Yeah.
But we're just starting, so it's like there's so like the world is our oyster, so like we can do whatever we want, basically creatively. So yeah, sweet, thank you.
Thank you.
I did not expect that at all. I don't know what I expected, low key. I have no idea what I expected, but it just sounded really, really solid. As soon as I walked in, I did the first one. I was like, oh shit, okay. Or even hearing y'all singer, like just kind of even hearing y'all singer, like while you guys were rehearsing or like getting like set up or tuning your shit, and she was just kind of like doing like some melodies like under it, like not even saying the actual lyrics. I was like, man, it's just that alone. Just like those kind of like harmonies sounded really, really good, like behind y'all just playing. So no, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Like a little EP, maybe, you know what I'm saying? A little small EP or something. But no, it's been a pleasure having you guys on, man. I wish you guys nothing but the best. Hope I could work with y'all guys like again. I really enjoyed like hanging out with y'all.